Well, hello boys and girls. Welcome to Space Week here at Brick for Brick. So I thought that I would start out Space Week with a really fun Usborne read aloud on the space station. So you can see here is the space station, and this is a Shine-A-Light book. So I have my flashlight all ready for this story for our Shine-A-Light book. So this On the Space Station book is created by Karen Brown and B. Johnson, and it is all about the space station. Let's learn about it. On the space station. A space station flies above Earth. Take a trip in a rocket and zoom far from our planet to visit the astronauts who live and work in a space station. Shine a flashlight behind the page or hold it up to the light to reveal what is hidden in and around the space station. Discover a world of great surprises. 3 astronauts will travel to the space station in a spaceship. They will be in space for many months. Can you see what the train is pulling? Let's check. So here's the train. Let's see if we can see what the train is pulling. I'm going to shine my light. Let's see if you can see. What is the train pulling? Can you see what's in there? Let's see if we're right. Creak! Rattle! The train is moving a huge, heavy rocket. The rocket will blast the spaceship into space. The train takes a few hours to slowly move the rocket from the building where it was made to the launch pad. About 3 hours before liftoff, the astronauts board the spaceship, which is inside the top part of the rocket. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! What happens as the rocket shoots into the air? What happens as the rocket shoots into the air? Let's check. Oop, here's my light. Take a peek. What's happening down there? You can see right through. The 3 long arms holding the rocket fall away as it blasts into the air. It takes only 45 seconds to reach a speed of more than 1,000 miles per hour. Roar! 9 minutes later, the spaceship leaves the rocket, which tumbles back down to Earth. Where are the astronauts? Shall we find out where are the astronauts? Let's peek with our light. We can see the astronauts in there. Oh, there they are. Can you see the astronauts? Let's see them up close. Whoosh! The astronauts are strapped safely inside the spaceship. They will continue their journey to the space station. The astronauts are traveling at a speed of 5 miles per second. That's very fast. Can you see the space station? Let's see, we can see a little peek through the window right here. Let's see if we can see the rest of it. Here's our light again. Can you see that space station? Here it is. Zoom! The space station is orbiting or circling around the Earth. The astronauts have to chase and catch the space station so they can dock. This can take up to 2 days. At last, the spaceship joins one of the 4 docking ports on the space station. What do the astronauts find inside the space station? What do you think they're going to find inside? See if we can discover what's inside that space station. comes my light. Let's see if we can peek. Hold it up from the top. It's going to be inside the space station. Here we go. Looks like there might be people in there. Hello! The astronauts open the hatch and meet the crew already on the space station. The astronauts seem to be floating inside the space station. What happens when this bag of candy is opened? Make a prediction. What do you think will happen when the bag of candy is opened? Let's see. The candies rise out of the package. They move slowly through the air. The candies and the astronauts look like they're floating. This is called weightlessness. Whee! It's time to get some sleep. The astronauts tie their sleeping bags to the station walls. If they aren't tied to something, the bags will float around. Can you see 2 more astronauts sleeping? Let's check if there are 2 more astronauts sleeping. Let's see if we can find them. Let's hold our light up. Let's see if we can find those 2 astronauts sleeping. There we go. I see one right here. Let's check. One more. Oh, look at that silly one. Some astronauts sleep in small cabins that are the size of a cupboard. The astronauts can wear eye masks to block out the lights that are always on inside the space station. Astronauts are busy from the moment they wake up. They have to work, but they need to keep fit too. They exercise for 2 hours every day. Which exercise machine is this astronaut using? What do you think he might be using? Looking at the way his body is moving, what do you think he might be using? Let's check if your prediction is right. Were you right? The astronaut is using a running machine to keep fit. He is strapped in to keep him from floating away. Roar. Astronauts see 16 sunrises and 16 sunsets at the space station as the space station travels around Earth. They also see the moon, which is orbiting Earth. It is very far away. Remember that orbiting means that it's going around. Can you see any cities on Earth? Let's see if we can find the cities that are on the Earth. Let's see how we can find the cities. Let's take a peek with our flashlight and see how we can find the cities on the Earth. As the sun sets, city lights are turned on. Hello, people of Earth. There's also work to do inside the station. Experiments are studied over several months in the station's 3 science labs. Can you see what's living in the tank? What do you think might be living inside of that tank? Do you have any ideas of what might be living inside of there? Let's check. What could be living inside of this tank? Let's turn the page and see. Flick, swish. Zebrafish swim in the tank. Astronauts study them to see how they live in space. One of the astronauts is getting ready to work outside the space station. There is no air to breathe in space. The astronaut is wearing a spacesuit that provides air and keeps him safe. Can you see him inside it? Can you see him yet? Let's check with our light if we can see him inside it. Let's do a little peek with our flashlight and see if we can see him inside. Can you see him in there? There he is. Zip. Under his spacesuit, the astronaut wears a thin layer of clothing. He also has a microphone and headphones to talk to the other astronauts. This astronaut is using controls inside the space station to move a giant robotic arm. Can you see what's on the end of the arm? Let's check what's out on the end of the arm. Let's see if we can see what's out there. Here we go with our light again. Look at that! A whole astronaut is out there. Looks like he's doing some work. There's an astronaut tied to the arm. The controls will take him to a part of the space station that needs repair. His tools are tied to his suit to keep them from floating away. The astronauts can call home on their computers at any time. What are the astronauts looking at? What do you think they might be looking at on their computers? What do you think they might want to call if they have a chance to call anytime? Who would they miss the most? Who would you miss the most if you were out in space on the space station? Let's check. Hello from Earth. The astronauts can see their families as they are speaking to them. Their families can see them too. The astronauts enjoy a meal together before 3 of them leave for Earth. The food is in containers so that it will last a long time. Fresh food is a real treat. Can you see what's inside these containers? Let's check what they might be eating inside of their containers. Let's take a peek. Yum, I see some vegetables, drinks. Yum! Looks like there's raspberry yogurt, shrimp cocktail, and chicken soup. There can be hundreds of different foods and drinks to choose from. After 6 months, it's time to go home. The astronauts set off in the spaceship and Mission Control talks to them to help them land safely. Can you see how the spaceship lands? Let's check how it lands. This is pretty exciting to see how it lands. First, whoosh, a parachute. A parachute slows the spaceship as it gets close to Earth. Engines on the bottom of the craft fire 1 second before it hits the ground. This softens the landing. Welcome back to Earth. In space, the astronauts contacted their families every day, but it's good to see them again. If they look up, they can see the space station. It looks like a bright star moving across the night sky. There it goes. And here's some of the equipment that astronauts need when they're on the space station. They need things like the launch pad to help the rocket take off from the platform. They need the spaceship. They need that space station. The sleeping cabin for each person to sleep in. A space suit to wear to keep their bodies protected and to have that air. A robotic arm, like a little crane, so that they can attach some objects to the end of it. That science lab to do experiments in. The end of On the Space Station. I hope that you enjoyed learning about the space station. look up in the night sky and see if you can ever see the space stations shining up there. Bye, friends.